What's up, guys? Here at Pro Play Games, and we just finished having our monthly GOAT tournament. It's really cool. Second time this actually fires off. We had 20 plus players. So Travis promised it, and now we are delivering. We have our second GOAT champion.
Second GOAT champion.
Playing Richard Munoz build, so shout out to him.
One of the GOAT Kings.
Yeah, one of the original GOAT Kings.
Yeah.
Let's get to it because I know a lot of people don't really do this.
GOAT format's coming back. The Hoban format's coming back.
No speed duels. This is the original speed duels, guys. All right. So obviously, Sinister Serpent and Tribe, best friends. You need to play those in almost any build that you play. Break of the Magic Warrior, of course. Now, we do play a small little Chaos package. It's actually pretty big. This is the biggest Chaos package that I think you can play legally. Obviously, there's Chaos Emperor Dragon, but you can't play that. Triple Chaos Sorcerer. We don't play a lot of targets. Like, we don't play Thunder Dragon and stuff like that. But it's still very consistent. It's still one of the best cards that you can play in this format, especially because, you know, you want to play a lot of +1s. Then we have a small recruiter package. So we do play the recruiters. And the recruiters, for those of you who don't know, back in the day they were called recruiters because they recruited another card out of your deck, right? So Shining Angel and Mystic Tomato both can get another card.
They're like Sangans, mini Sangans.
So they can both get something out of the deck, and that's very important because you know, there's some strategies which we weren't on, but you can use it to like tribute it, you know, in Monarchs, which we do side into. But more importantly, these are light and darks, so it's key to getting your Chaos engine just always online, right? So we did only play one target for the Shining Angel. Well, two targets, I'm sorry. Where's the second one? There we go. Two targets for the Shining Angel. So you can get Magician of Faith if you do have the Tsukiyomi, which, you know, that does happen quite a few times. Sometimes you have the Tsukiyomi off the Sangan or something like that, and this Shining Angel gets you a Magician of Faith, which is actually really good. And then the only other target would be the DD Warrior Lady. So DD Warrior, obviously premium removal in this format. It can get rid of anything that's really causing trouble, whether it be higher attack or something that's immune to being destroyed by battle, like Spirit Reaper. So essentially, Shining Angel doesn't really have just two targets. It has three. It has like 3 or 4, depending on how many Shining Angels are in the deck, because they could always cycle through. And the good thing about recruiters is that this format is actually very heavily based on the 1400 attack margin and Dekoichi and Donzalug and things like that. So if they leave those in attack position, these are great cards to really just punish them and just cycle into what you want to cycle into. So obviously the most famous card, one of the most famous cards in Go format, is Sangan, which you really need to get you your Sinister Serpent. You know, you can even get your DD Warrior Lady, your Tsukiyomi. These are all very key cards that you want to have. It's very good being able to see your Sangan before your opponent, because that means you have leverage over Delinquent Duo, you have leverage on your own Graceful Charity, you have a lot of things that will defer your opponent from, you know, you just getting your pluses before your opponent. Exarion Universe. Now we do play the format where Exarion is legal. I've never really seen a tournament of GOATs where Exarion's not used. It did come out in a tin, which is like right the cusp of you know, Go format, right before CRV. When CRV hit, it wasn't any longer considered you know, Go format, because Cyber Dragon was just like so OP and so crazy. So we were playing the Exarion format, so therefore we're obviously going to play Exarion Universe. Very powerful card. It just has very amazing stats. It's 1800 attack, 1900 defense. Almost impossible to run over with any type of normal monster summon, which is a big reason why Chaos Sorcerer is so big, because it lets you deal with this card. The only other spirit monster that we played was a Sword Priest. So you have the 2 spirit monsters here, Tsukiyomi and the Sword Priest. 2 of the strongest ones. We only play 1 copy of each. These are spirits that normally go back to your hand, so there's really no need. Like, when you draw multiples of these, it's really like the worst feeling in the world. So that's pretty much it. This is also another light. This is like the 5th light, I think, in the whole deck, minus BLS. So that's it for the monsters. For the spells and traps, well, spells first. Premature Burial, of course. You need to play Premature Burial.
Staples.
Yeah, that's a staple.
Some of the
staples also that include is Snatch Steel, of course. The MST, which is limited to 1 in this format. You would play more if you can, but you don't. So you normally play Dust Tornado on the sideboard, or maybe out of the main deck if you really want. Nobleman's at 2, so you have to play 2 most of the time. Sometimes you can even get away with 1, but 2 is usually the best number to do. But yeah, knock is one of the most powerful cards in the game in Go
format, yeah.
Because of a lot of setting. You could either set the recruiters, you can set Sinister. Sometimes if people are greedy, they can set Sangan.
Setting's the most advantageous mechanic in this format.
Triple Book of Moon. So Book of Moon, a lot of people play 2 actually.
I think it's not a good card. In my opinion, it's a combo piece more than a Yeah, it's a negative 1.
When you look at it, this whole format is about 1-for-1s and +1s.
Advantage,
like
yeah.
And this is this along with Scapegoat are the only one of the only like negative ones that are actually really worth playing because of their interactions that they can set you up into really positive interactions. So this can save your Chaos Sorcerer from Lightning Vortex, but it happened multiple times. It's just very good against Snatch Steal, and it's also in combination with Nobleman of Crossout can remove any monster on the board. This is a Holy Trinity. There's really no explanation. Every deck plays these. It's the 3 most powerful cards that you can open with.
This card is
and then Heavy Storm. It's very, 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 very good. So next thing with the traps, we're gonna go with is Ring of Destruction, Mirror Force, Marcel, Solemn Judgment.
Best trap in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's
in this format.
It's one of the best traps in the game.
It's a guaranteed 1-for-1.
Yeah, the problem is not a lot of people play this card.
People forget about this card. It stops flip summons.
Yeah.
It's knock.
This card is okay. It's not the best thing in the world, especially if your opponent is playing Solemn 2 and it gets really degenerate. Also, you have to consider that Burn is one of the best decks in this format. So this card is not very good against Burn. So it is a very risky card. You just got to play it correctly. If you don't know how to play this card, then it's awful. But if you know how to play it well, then it can be one of the best trap cards in your deck. And then the last thing, which a lot of people don't really play, well, they didn't play back then, but obviously with the knowledge that we have now, Trap Dust Shoot is one of the best traps to start with. Obviously, it is a card that you want to start with, but this format's not really about what card you start with. It's really just about how you play this card and what the information it gives you. And in this format, you always want to have 3 to 4 cards in hand. So even if your opponent passes with 3 cards in hand, by you setting this, you can be able to, they're obviously going to draw for their draw phase, go to 4, and then you Trap Dust Shoot them. And the information is more key than anything, especially in this format that's very, nitpicky on the 1-for-1s and stuff like that. So Trap Dust Shoot's one of the most powerful cards that you can play. Now for the sideboard here, because Goat is very, very important, the sideboard is very, very important for you to succeed in Goats, which most people usually, don't take as important as the sideboard. So Roll Oppression, very good against the Return from the Different Dimension Fusion decks with the Monster Gates and Reasonings and things like that. This is just something that's really good. They play Reasoning, you shut them down with Roll Oppression. Jinzo's at 1, so we play 1 Jinzo. It's just very good with for heavy back row decks.
My favorite,
especially Burn. Yeah,
because
Burn,
my favorite side card, Dust
Tornado.
Best side card.
Very
format.
good. I would probably play. No, well,
for sure, it's 3
we
of.
only play 2. Sometimes you play 3 of, depending if you play Monarchs or not. But we do play Monarchs, so that's why we don't play more than 2. And then double Saku, because we don't. If you notice, we play 0 Sakus in our main board. Our main board is actually, if you think about it, it's not very defensive. Like, these cards don't do anything to attacks. These are the only things that react to attacks in our main board.
Yeah, very reactive trap lineup.
We have a reactive trap lineup that does nothing to opponents trying to aggro us. So when our opponents are trying to aggro us, the machine deck or whatever, Sakuretsu is also very, very good. And then we have
the whole Monarch package.
Very popular Monarch package, which there was a deck back in the day called Soul Control, and it was very, very. It emphasized a lot on the Monarchs, and I love the Monarchs because they do give you an inherent advantage. With the Soul Exchange, not only is this removal, but then you also get a beater that's very big, hard for your opponent to get rid of, and that attack.
Rips a card.
Yeah, these usually on summon will net you some amount of cards.
So it's a +1 in theory.
Will net you a 1, and Mobius will usually net you 2, And then the Soul Exchange trading, not only your
This acts as a pseudo nobleman crossout.
It's also nobleman crossout. Yeah, it could be nobleman crossout, or it can just get rid of something huge like a BLS that's almost impossible to interact with. And then both of these are very good. We were more heavy on the Mobius because we really didn't want to lose to Burn, which we ended up losing to on a 50-50, Solemn Judgment back row. But at the end of the day, having a good sideboard along with a good main deck is obviously something that you want to make sure that you have in GOAT, because there's a lot of different decks. It's not just a standard cookie cutter chaos deck that you see around, or standard cookie cutter warrior deck. So GOAT format, definitely a very popular format that a lot of people always have a deck around. So if you guys are ever in the vicinity, PPG always hosts them once a month, and it's always been really, really fun. So thank you guys again for the deck profile. Till next time.
Catch you guys later. Bye.